Welcome back to another exploration into the headlines stirring up Hollywood once again. This time, we're turning our attention to a figure from cinema's golden age, Carolyn Jones. Most remembered for her legendary role as Morticia Addams, Carolyn has unexpectedly returned to the spotlight after a collection of vintage bikini photographs began circulating across the internet. These unearthed images have ignited a whirlwind of conversation, not just about her, but about timeless beauty, personal empowerment, and the shifting lens through which society views femininity. Captured during her prime in the 1950s and 60s, the photographs showcase Carolyn's signature mystique and graceful confidence, elements that define both her off-screen presence and on-screen characters. Though they're in classic black and white, the energy within them is vibrant. She exudes elegance without effort, strength without words. Admirers have called the photos not only stunning, but ahead of their time, seeing them as a courageous expression of identity in an era when women were often expected to stay within the lines. For many, these images serve as proof that the essence of self-assuredness existed long before modern conversations about body positivity ever entered the mainstream. But as is often the case with anything that challenges norms, the praise didn't come without pushback. Critics on social platforms labeled the photos as overly suggestive, even by today's standards, and questioned whether such intimate glimpses into the past should have re-emerged at all. What began as a nostalgic rediscovery quickly evolved into a broader cultural debate. It sparked questions about how far we've really come in terms of accepting women who choose to express themselves boldly, and whether we still attach judgment to that freedom. Those who defend the release of the photos emphasize that they're more than just striking, they're empowering. Carolyn wasn't staging a media stunt or trying to defy expectations in a brash way. What she did was much subtler and more profound. She chose to be fully herself during a time when Hollywood largely discouraged that. Her body language, her fashion, her gaze, they weren't rebellious by force, but by the simple act of existing on her own terms. That quiet defiance is part of what continues to resonate with so many. It's remarkable that even now, these images have the power to stir such intense feelings. They remind us that the struggle to define beauty and confidence on our own terms is still very much ongoing. Carolyn Jones didn't conform to expectations then, and she wouldn't now. Her legacy isn't confined to the roles she played. It's captured in moments like this, where she shows us what it looks like to embrace your identity without fear or apology. In the end, the reaction to these rediscovered photos reveals just as much about where we are today as it does about the past. Too bold may sound like a dramatic label, but the emotions behind it are real, and they reflect society's lingering discomfort with women who dare to own their space. Carolyn Jones remains a symbol not only of vintage Hollywood glamour, but of inner strength and unapologetic authenticity. Her beauty wasn't about fitting a mold. It was about standing tall in her own truth, and that's what continues to make her unforgettable.